everyone, and welcome to the first manga haul on this channel, which I'm kind of excited for because I just really wanted an excuse to talk about manga. So I didn't know I was going to be doing this until like halfway through the month, and so this video is going to be a bit different to how I normally would do collective hauls, where I just have everything here at once and I'm just kind of gonna go through it. And I guess if people like this format, let me know. So I guess I'm just gonna start going through everything that I got in the month of October. Okay, so to start off, I have volume 18, volume 23, volume 26, and volume 31 of Yona of the Dawn, which is actually the series that like made me want to collect physically again. I used to like buy occasional volumes, but I recently rewatched the anime and then went to reread the entire manga series, and I just really wanted to collect it physically after that. I'm kind of working slowly on it. With these four, I'm actually about halfway complete, which is exciting. For those who don't know of Yona of the Dawn, I know it's been very popular recently, which makes me really happy because I've loved this series forever, and I'm so glad it's finally getting the recognition it deserves. But it is a historical fantasy sort of romance. I mean, personally, I see the romance as more of like a subplot, but it is technically a romance. And it is about this girl, Yona, who is the princess of a fictional place called Koka, and she's very spoiled and sheltered, but due to certain circumstances she is made to leave the palace, which she's never really left before, with only her bodyguard. And yeah, it's a really well done story, well done female protagonist, which has amazing character development, and all the other characters are really interesting as well, whether you like them or dislike them. They just have interesting characters and personalities. And yeah, I would love to show the art of them, but all of these volumes, since they're quite late on, I don't want to like spoil things. But yeah, also you will notice that some of these volumes have damage in the corners. They did not come like this. This was me dropping them, which literally I wanted to cry when I did that. But I did buy these in perfect condition, so yeah, no need to worry about that. But yes, I absolutely love this series, and I know everyone's been recommending it, but seriously, it's worth checking out. I know it's super long, but it is 100% worth it. For those who are having trouble getting like the earlier volumes, because I know they're very out of stock, there is an anime, which if you're cool with watching the anime rather than reading the manga, it goes up to about a volume 8, I believe. If you want to watch that to like get a start on the series, it's a very good adaptation in my personal opinion, so yeah. Also, if you do watch the anime, do not watch the OVAs, just letting you know. But that is Yona of the Dawn. Okay, so next up I'm gonna do the Apothecary Diaries. So the Apothecary Diaries is actually a seinen series. A lot of people mistake it as either a shoujo or josei just because of, I guess, the cute girl in front. But it is a seinen series, and it's basically about this girl called Mao Mao, who is kind of like a court servant in a sort of historical Chinese palace, and she is very knowledgeable in medicine and herbal remedies and stuff like that, and she just kind of gets involved in the like happenings of the palace due to her knowledge in these like fields, and she becomes a poison tester or food taster, I guess, for poison in the palace. And yeah, she gets basically roped into loads of mysteries, which she isn't very happy about. I actually love Mama as a character. She's just so like, I really do not care, but I love medicine, so like if I get medicine stuff out of it, it is great. But yeah, I really enjoy this series. It's a mystery historical kind of series, but it is a really good series, so I highly recommend checking it out. And that's what some of the art's like. Super pretty. Cool, so next up I have a volume 1 of Bungo Stray Dogs Beast, and this is a spin-off manga series of the original Bungo Stray Dogs series, and I have a confession to make. I absolutely love Bungo Stray Dogs, but I have not read the manga or the light novels or anything of it, and I saw that this spin-off was being released in English, and since there is only one volume out as of the time I'm recording this, and the second one comes out soon, I decided to start here with the manga and light novel part of the Bungo Stray Dogs universe, because to be honest, it really confuses me because there are so many spin-offs. But yeah, so this is as I said, a spin-off, and it's basically set in an alternate reality from the Bungo Stray Dogs universe, where Akutagawa, who is this guy, and he's normally sort of the main antagonist, sort of, in Bungo Stray Dogs, he switches places essentially with Atsushi, who's the main character, and it's just a very interesting take. And obviously having some knowledge of the series is kind of important, so you understand the references to certain parts, but at the same time, because it is set in an alternate reality, I don't think it's too big a deal. I mean, obviously you would need to know knowledge of the world to a certain extent, but I actually haven't read the volume yet though, so don't trust me on that. I'm waiting until volume 2 comes out because I prefer like binge reading, and I really struggle reading one volume at a time. So since volume 2 comes out next month, I will get that and then I will read them together. But yeah, I really love the art. It's very like interesting. Like, I can't think of many series that are very similar to it. But yeah, so I am excited to read that, and I'll be sure to let everyone know if I enjoy it. I probably will. I mean, I love basically all the characters in Bungo Stray Dogs, whether I dislike them or like them. I love them for the fact that I like or dislike them. So yes, that is Bungo Stray Dogs Beast. Okay, next up, following the kind of supernatural trend, I have volume 6 and volume 9 of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. So this is a series that over the summer I watched the anime for, and I really enjoyed it, but the parts that I was most interested in, they didn't have time to kind of go into in the anime, just because it was only a 12-episode series, so I wanted to read the manga, and originally I was going to read it physically, but as everyone knows, it is very hard to find earlier volumes at the moment just because of what it's like in the manga world at the moment. So I decided to just say screw it and read it online. So I have read the entire series up to what has been released, and then I'm just collecting the volumes as I see them for a good price. That's why I have volume 6 and 9 here. I actually really love this cover, volume 6. It's really pretty. But yes, so Toilet Bound Hanako-kun is a supernatural mystery, I guess you would call it, and it's basically about a girl called Yashiro, who isn't on the covers here, but she hears about one of the mysteries of the school, which is Hanako-san of the bathroom, essentially, which is a ghost that lives in the third stall in the girls' bathroom, because she has a wish that she wants to be fulfilled, and it turns out that Hanako-san is actually a boy, and while trying to grant her wish, some complications happen, and she's kind of forced to be bound to him and becomes his assistant, essentially, and they go around kind of sorting out the mysteries or the supernatural creatures that exist in this school, and it's way more interesting than just, oh, it's just them sorting out mysteries in the school. Like, I am so emotionally invested in this story. I hope you understand, like, the stuff that happened in this story I was not emotionally prepared for, like, at all. So yeah, it's a very interesting story. If you like stories where there's kind of a main character who you don't know the full story for, and you get to see that story kind of unfold, I would recommend it. And also just general supernatural stuff. And obviously the art is so pretty. I mean, everyone talks about how nice the art is in this, and I completely agree. But I do think the story is just as compelling as the art. So yeah. Cool, so next up, having a bit of a genre shift, I have Sasaki and Miyano Volume 3. So this is a series that I really love, and it's essentially, it is like a BL series, and it is about this boy, Miyano, who really likes to read BL, but he himself doesn't consider himself to be gay, and he meets this upperclassman called Sasaki, and Sasaki just thinks he's like super cute, essentially, but then he basically discovers that he's into BL, and then he also discovers that when he talks about BL, he gets really happy, and when he's happy, he's even cuter. So he wants him to kind of keep talking about BL, so he keeps like asking him for recommendations so they can talk about it, and it's just really cute and wholesome, and I don't know like how to explain how much I love the series. I just love how drama-free it is. Like, sometimes I just want a series that has no drama and is just pure wholesomeness and fluffiness, and I also kind of relate to Miyano, not in the like BL side, but just in the fact of being a fan of something and having someone to share it with just makes you feel really happy. Like, it's super cute, and I personally quite like the art in this. Like, it's not anything outstanding, but it's just really nice to look at. So that is Sasaki and Miyano Volume 3. I actually don't have Volume 2 yet, but I should hopefully be getting that soon because I don't like paying full retail price for this, and since it is yen press, it's kind of pricey and they're very thin. But I shall hopefully have them all soon, and Volume 4 I believe comes out next month, so yeah. Cool, so I guess I shall continue with the romance train. So here I have A Sign of Affection Volume 2 and Volume 3. Volume 2 actually has like a mark on there, which kind of sucks, but you can't really see it unless you look at it, so I'm not too fussed about it. But A Sign of Affection, this is a series that a lot of people are raving about, and I think for good reason. Like, it's a very sweet series, I guess. So it is about this girl called Yuki who is deaf, and essentially she meets this guy called, I believe his name is Itsuomi, and he is someone who is very interested in other cultures. He's multilingual, and he just always had this interest in other worlds, essentially. And when he meets Yuki, he's kind of like amazed at her world, like how different it is just because she can't hear. And because of that, he takes an interest in her and is trying to learn sign language. And of course, she kind of falls for him, and a romance develops. And I just really love this series. I really love the pacing. I also really like Sumo Ishita. I've read both Hibichosho and Shortcake Cake, and Hibichosho I absolutely love. It was just like the purest thing ever. It's been years since I read it though, so maybe if I read it again now, I'm not sure if I would like it as much. Shortcake Cake I did enjoy, but there were some parts that I didn't enjoy, so I'm not as passionate about that series, and I don't have any plans to buy it. But this series, I really enjoy. So yeah, and Sumo Ishita's works are just so fluffy. Like, I don't know how else to describe them. It's just, they're so fluffy. And I also just appreciate how much like effort they're going towards like correctly representing the deaf and hard of hearing communities, and just always putting like information at the back or in between the chapters about the world of like sign language and even the other cultures that Itsuomi's interested in. Just like, I really just appreciate that. So it's highly worth checking out if you like the sweet romance with like just really in-depth representation, I guess, of the communities. I'm sorry if that was a really bad explanation, but yes, super sweet. And it is set in college / university. We call it university here, but college for anywhere else. So yeah. Cool, so now for a bit more of an emotional one, we have Our Dreams at Dusk. I don't know too much about the series. I know I definitely wanted to read it. It was actually a bit of an impulse purchase of this one, because when I was looking into a series that I wanted to buy physically, I saw that this was on sale, so I bought this one, and then I managed to get volume 2 as well. But this is a series, as far as I'm aware, it is about this guy who gets outed as gay, and then he kind of is struggling a lot mentally, and then he finds a place where he can kind of be himself. I don't know if that's completely correct. I'm so sorry if that is wrong, but I just know that I really wanted to read this, and I'm gonna wait until I have all 4 volumes, because there's only 4 volumes in the series, so I want to kind of do it all at once. So if I'm going to be emotionally affected, I can be emotionally affected all at once. And I just know that it has really good representation of different communities, especially in the LGBTQ+ community. So yeah, I'm very excited. Also, the art is so pretty in this. Like, it's just so nice. And I absolutely love these covers. I think they're so stunning, especially with this one. Like, it's so pretty. So yes, that is Our Dreams at Dusk. Cool, so I guess I'll do the last, like, romancy one. I don't know if that last one counts as romance, but the last kind of romance-themed one, which is Maid-sama. This is the second omnibus, so it contains volumes 3 and 4. And Maid-sama is just a very classic, like, rom-com, shoujo rom-com, I guess. It's very dear to my heart. So when I was deciding which series, like, I wanted to fully collect physically, Maid-sama was, like, one of the top of the list, just because it's just so iconic and such a classic, and I have reread the series many times, I rewatched the anime many times. I really love this series. For those who don't know what this series is, first of all, this cover must be very misleading, but it is, as I said before, a shoujo rom-com series. And let me go on the back, because I think there's a better picture for explanation. So it's basically about this girl, Misaki, who is the student council president of her school, which used to be an all-boys school, but was recently reformed to be a co-ed school. But because of that, it's still mainly boys. So she's essentially trying to reform the school. And because of that, she has a kind of reputation to uphold there. But due to her family's financial situation, she has to work part-time at a maid cafe, which is embarrassing, essentially. Or would ruin her reputation, because at school she's kind of seen as very strong and powerful, and then at work she has to weigh over, you know, essentially guys. Like, I know it's for everyone, but essentially guys. And then, of course, the most popular boy at school, Usui, happens to discover this, and shenanigans ensue, essentially. Obviously, a romance develops, and she's always concerned, oh, is he going to tell the secret? And then he's just kind of teasing her. And it's just a very sweet series, and yeah, I do recommend reading the manga personally over the anime, just because where the anime ends is a good point, but with the manga it goes much further, and I just personally prefer how the story is told in the manga. And I do highly recommend it. As I said, it's a very classic shoujo rom-com that I think if you're a fan of the genre, you should definitely read. But yes, that is the second omnibus for Maid-sama. Cool, so next up, very big change in genre. We have Black Butler volume 27 and volume 29. This is another series that I really love and have been reading for many years, and I just really enjoy this series. It is a supernatural historical mystery series. I feel like Butler is very well known, but I don't know if many people actually know what it's about. Like, everyone knows that it's about a like kid who has a demon as a butler, but like I don't think people actually know what it's about. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But it is about a boy called CL who is the Earl of the Phantom Hive family, even though he's only 13 years old, and as I said before, by his side he has a demon as a butler. But as the Earl of the Phantom Hive family, he works as the Queen's guard dog, which is essentially like a private investigator for the Queen. So anything the Queen wants to be investigated, whether it's because she doesn't want the public known, or it's in like the underground, or it's just for like personal reasons, she asks the Earl Phantom Hive. But yeah, this series is about those mysteries, and then kind of the big unfolding of the mystery behind CL, who is the boy, and his butler Sebastian, about like how that happened, why he is the Earl of the family, things like that. I'm sorry, I'm probably doing a terrible job explaining this, but I really enjoy the series. I'm also like, I am British, so it's kind of interesting seeing, because this is set in the late 1800s in Victorian Britain, so it's interesting seeing some kind of British things but with like a supernatural twist. And yeah, I just really enjoy the series. I do recommend, if you're considering this series and maybe you want to watch the anime first before going into it, I would completely skip the first and second season of the anime and just go straight to the third season, which is Book of Circus, and then the OVA and the movie Book of Murder and Book of the Atlantic, because those are perfect adaptations of the manga, whereas season 1 and 2 are almost completely anime original. I would highly recommend that. I also want to show off some art in here, because the art is so stunning in like these later volumes. So yes, that is Black Butler. So last but not least, we have the case study of Vanitas, volumes 2 and volume 3, and may I just say that volume 2 is so thick. You are definitely getting your money's worth for this series. Case study of Vanitas, kind of similar to Black Butler, is a historical sort of 1800s set series, but this one is set in France. It is about an alternate reality France, I guess, where vampires exist, and there is a legend among the vampires about this vampire called Vanitas, who was born under the blue moon, and because of that he was kind of discriminated against, and so in revenge he made a book called the Book of Vanitas, which was said to like curse vampires and kill them and stuff like that. And this character Noe, who is a vampire, goes to Paris in search of Vanitas and this book, and happens to meet this guy who claims he is Vanitas, but he is just a regular human. But he wants to actually help cure vampires. It's just a very interesting supernatural mystery story, which I absolutely love. I've been really enjoying. I just need volumes 4, 7 and 8, which I may be getting next month. I'm not completely sure. And then I have the physical collection of this complete, which I'm excited for. But yes, I know season 2 of the anime is coming out next year, so I highly recommend this, whether it's in manga form or anime form. So far, the anime is a good adaptation of the manga, so hopefully they don't ruin it. Also, what I really like about these volumes is at the back, it goes into kind of detail about, if I can get there, the main characters' like character designs, and I just find that really interesting. I love it when authors do that. It's really fun. But yes, I also love this cover. This is probably my favourite cover of Case Study. Okay, and that was everything that I got in this month. Sorry if this video was a bit awkward. It's my first time doing something like this. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye!
갈게요. 바이바이. 쫑